Welcome YouTube to the introductory video of the Cups of Night film channel. My name is Chris. I am the owner and operator of Cups of Night Films, and I just wanted to kind of introduce myself, introduce the channel, the company, and what you can expect. Just wanted to let you know what you're in for and give you a little bit of background about myself. My whole life, I've really wanted to be a creative person. I was in bands in my early to mid 20s, making music by myself and with others. But one thing that's always stuck true is movies. I love movies. You'll find out through the course of this channel that I'm obsessed with movies. It's kind of ridiculous. And so I really wanted to try to see if I could shape my life to do the things that I wanted to do, things that make me happy. And so after moving from Colorado Springs, Colorado to St. Paul, Minnesota for family matters, I decided to just throw it all away and start over. I enrolled in not really, it's not an online course. I enrolled in the RRFC uh, film school program, which is the recording radio film connection based out of LA. And that program was amazing for many ways. So what it is basically you get a book that you go through and it tells you, book work, how to do these things, and here's some old movies or whatever to watch. And it walked me through this whole process of directing and production and what it goes into making a movie. So, I have a lot of Criterion movies and it's called Film School in a Box, but all you really learn from watching those movies and all the bonus features is the end result, how to make a movie look away, and you get ideas of, oh, I would want it to look this way, or I like this angle, etc., etc. The actual business part, the prospect of, okay, so you write a script and you have to line out a script. All these very technical details, it was just something that my brain has a really hard time wrapping itself around stuff like that. So I just wanted to get some kind of formal education to just get into the world. Once I dive in, I can start playing with stuff and fiddling with things and really learn the craft. But as a complete outsider who's just like, I love movies, I want to make movies, I couldn't find an in. The other thing, the stuff that really makes the Film Connection awesome was it set me up with a production mentor local here. So they hooked me up with Travis Johansson of Provid Films, Provid Films, and basically I worked as an intern for 6 months, and that that was like the best. It was just OJT. It was OJT. You try to get a job working on productions and stuff like that, and it's super difficult because you don't have any experience. This allowed me to get experience, and the mentor, he works with you to try to teach you, and a lot of this stuff really is, fly by the seat of your pants. Try this out, try that out, see what happens. And so I had a really hard time working with him on that regard. But he's a very active working production company here in the Twin Cities. I just worked as his production assistant. I helped set up lights, set up audio. He still handled the cameras because they're your babies. The cameras are your babies. You can't let anyone just mess with that. So he still mostly messed with that. And he gave me a cheap small camera to try to play with, but it still really wasn't clicking in my brain. Like, okay, so how do you move the lights? And my brain just really wanted that information, but you just do it. And that's where I got to, that point. By the end of the program, like just the repetition of it and seeing how the lighting and the sound and all that other stuff gelled together, then I was starting to see how to work it all together. The absolute biggest benefit from that production mentor standpoint is editing. you go to a site, you set up the cameras, he sets up the camera, click. Okay, so you record interviews, you shoot your B-roll, you do all that stuff. But then putting it together, because that's where movies are made. Movies are montage. The other big piece of the program was a screenwriting mentor. So they hooked me up with Eric Abrams. He was really, really smart and helpful in trying to teach me, so I understand basics of storytelling. I've read books and not just, I read books, but I've read books on how to tell stories. I've actually been writing stories my whole life. But just going through the process of taking my idea, getting it on the paper, you know, you get a bunch of ideas and you're like, this could be a movie, but now you actually have to plot them out because you're going to write it. You can't just take the brain and say, boom, here's a thing. You have to shape it and mold it into a story that becomes a script so that you can then make the movie. That was a difficult process. I actually just finished writing the first draft last week, and I started the program in July. I technically finished and graduated the program at the turn of the new year, but I just finished the first draft last week, and it was just difficult to try to keep pushing forward. I would sit down and in a burst of energy, I would write like 4 or 5 pages and then be like, and then I would just have to take a break, and it would be like a week until I could do it again. Yeah, so the Film Connection, that's basically what I chose to do to go to school. So this YouTube channel was my first really big idea, and I don't want it to be just a YouTube channel where I'm going through and talking to you like this. This is not going to be what the channel is going to be going forward. I want it to be more of like a video blog, a vlog, if you will. One of my best friends from Colorado, Taylor, hi Tay, that's what he did. He watched vlogs on YouTube because they were an investment. They were something he could look forward to every week. And you watched someone progress through a project from the very beginning until completion. And then they would go on to their next project. And that's a really interesting format for me, especially if people like watching that. So I wanted to do this vlog, this YouTube channel, so that every time I start a new project, here's a video, talk about the project, here's what I'm going to do, and update with videos of the progress that I'm making towards that project. For example, there's a project that I'm trying to develop for the American Migraine Foundation. They're doing a short film contest. The deadline is April 20th to get your short film completed and posted up onto YouTube and submitted through the contest. I have to make moves on that. So I got the story idea. I have to start writing the script. I have to meet with some actors. I have to try to get some locations, and then I actually have to shoot it and then edit it. Why not document this process? And anything that I complete, I'll post my short films to this channel. But that can't be the only thing. That's not a good constant stream of content. So the other thing that I want to do with the channel is post video appreciations, which I don't want to call them video reviews, movie reviews, because that brings a sort of, it's kind of a loaded phrase. People know what to expect. If you, oh, I'm going to review this movie. Okay, so he's going to do this and talk about this. But that's not really what I wanted to go for with those videos, is because I watch a lot of movies that many people would consider bad, but I really like them. And it's not because I like bad movies or, oh, this is actually good. It's because there's things in all film that are interesting, that are admirable, that, the director or the screenwriter, they were putting a piece of themselves into that film. And so you say, oh, well, it's bad, it's poorly acted, it's made with $5, and you just throw it out. But that's actually a piece of somebody's art. And that's the stuff that I really appreciate. I'll watch tons of bad movies, but I'll be like, hey, I love that. I want more of that, or ooh, that's a really interesting idea, and it's all into feeding into your own creative pool, if you will. You can get that from other people's art. And just because a movie is made with millions and millions of dollars doesn't make it good either. You know, you've got a lot of bad movies or movies that you don't like that are big budget or really shiny. Like, oh, well, it's well made, it's well acted, it's got great special effects. Why don't you like it? Well, it doesn't work for me. That's just how art goes. So, and I've searched on YouTube for like videos on movies that I was curious about. You know, what's this movie all about? Has anyone done a video about this? And instead of doing a video essay, which I still might do some video essays in the future, it's a format that is interesting to me. I thought that the video appreciation would be even better, because then I can show clips and talk about those clips, talk about what I liked about the movie, what I liked about each of the clips that I show, so that it's more of this is why I appreciate or why I like this movie, as opposed to is this movie good or bad, yes or no, thumbs up, thumbs down, go away. I don't like that. I just want to watch movies. I just want to absorb other people's art. So what's with the name? Cups of Night Films. Well, it's kind of a multifaceted thing, which it just kind of, you know, recency bias and all this other stuff. One of my favorite films from Terrence Malick is his 2015 film starring Christian Bale, The Knight of Cups. If you've seen that movie, you know, it's this crazy, dream-like, you know, investigation into the life of this man who's just really bad at life. But he's kind of one of those like failing upwards type, but it's the camera just floats through the film. There's no real structure to the plot. It's not telling a story. We're just floating in and out of this guy's life and his stories. And that really affected me a whole lot. And then when I had watched the movie, I'm one of those people that likes to research every movie they watch. So I had looked it up. I mean, obviously, the name of the film, Knight of Cups, it comes from a tarot card. If you've ever seen anything with dealing with tarot cards, that part was obvious. But I didn't know what the tarot card had meant. Taking a look at Biddy Tarot, in the Knight of Cups, a knight rides on a white horse and holds out a golden cup as if he bears a message from the heart. Over his armor, the knight wears a cloak covered with images of fish, the symbol of water, consciousness, and creativity. His helmet and boots are winged, a symbol of an active and creative imagination and an appreciation for beautiful things. Unlike the Knight of Wands or the Knight of Swords, the horse in the Knight of Cups is not charging forward, but instead moves slowly and gracefully, giving an air of calmness and peace. The horse represents power, energy, and drive, and the color white is a symbol of purity, spirituality, and light. The background is mostly barren, except for some trees far away and the river that flows through, symbolizing the power of the emotions and imagination to create a new life force, even where it may seem that there is none. So that description basically, I think, summarizes me as a person, and especially my approach to art and my approach to filmmaking. Like that's the types of ideas that I love, and I would love to create in my films. It's also the types of films that I adore watching the most. However, if you take a look at the cover art for the film Knight of Cups, you'll notice that Christian Bale is hanging upside down, meaning that the film itself is a representation of the Knight of Cups reversed. Reading off of that same website, Biddy Tarot, when the reversed Knight of Cups appears in a tarot reading, a creative project is emerging, but you are not ready to act on it just yet. You may spend most of your time dreaming up what is possible or how wonderful it will be when it comes to fruition. While it can be enriching to be in the dreamy idea phase for a while, the plan will not come into being until you take action. You may need to ground your ideas into reality, figure out how much it will cost, how much time it will take, and what resources you will need, and so on. This will give your project more weight so that you can move forward with implementing your idea. At times, the reversed Knight of Cups can indicate that you are sulky, moody, and jealous. You may feel frustrated that you are not being given the opportunity to dream and create, and you allow your emotions to get the better of you if you are not getting your way. The Knight of Cups reversed can describe someone who has an overly romantic approach to life and is disconnected from reality. You may experience a level of disillusionment that an offer is not quite what you expected it to be because you have found yourself caught up in the excitement or emotion of a situation. For example, you might quit your office job so you can work at home only to realize you miss the social contact with your coworkers. Or you might sell your house to travel the country only to find that your camper van needs a whole new engine on day 2 of your journey. Hi, I'm the reversed Knight of Cups. um, and that's also like the whole impetus behind me starting my own video production company so I can make the films that I want to make and just get to where I want to go instead of hoping on the lottery. This is me trying to free myself from that reverse Knight of Cups. I'm also a huge David Lynch fan, most specifically Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks is literally the greatest thing ever made, in my opinion. And if you've seen Twin Peaks, you'll know that in the Black and White Lodge, all the people that are trapped, the denizens of the lodges, they speak backwards. Um, it's really cool because when they film it, they actually speak backwards and then the footage is played in reverse. So when you're watching it, you hear them say it normally. You know, they'll say, "This is the waiting room." But because they were recorded speaking it reverse and then it was played backwards, it's more like, "Welcome to the waiting room." And I can't flip the words upside down, Knight of Cups, to just be upside down like Christian Bale on the cover. So they're reversed, back to front, Cups of Night. And also they're my initials. So it works on a lot of different levels for me. So that's my main thing here. The vlog and the video appreciation and my creative output. Any short films I make, boom. And I hope that you will follow me on that journey. If you could please hit the subscribe button, ding the bell so that you're notified whenever another video comes out. I would greatly appreciate it. And let's go on this journey together. It's going to be amazing.